Hi there, it's Jacob Rawley with Front Page MMA, and I'm here talking to the CEO and promoter of Cage Steel, Dominic Gibbs, and we're looking forward to Cage Steel 25. So my first question is, it's been a long road with the pandemic. Are you looking forward to getting the show back on the road, getting the ball rolling?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's I can't believe it's been a year. You know, if you'd have told me, at the last show, the 14th of March, we'll be like this for a year, and it was always 3 weeks to flatten the curve, and I'm a bit of an annoyingly positive, to be fair, in my general life, and I was like, yeah, 3 weeks, we're back on. We preempted and moved, so we had a July show set, and we kind of preempted that and moved it to August straight away, thinking, oh, it'll be fine. It might not be okay for July, but definitely August. And that didn't happen. Then December didn't happen, and March didn't happen. It was like, wow. So yeah, definitely glad to be back out.
Yeah, do you think in a way it's almost invigorated a lot of the young fighters? This layoff, they all seem to be chomping at the bit to get back of it. Are you looking forward to fireworks?
Mate, the uptake has been incredible. From us putting a note out there, within 24 hours, we had 100 plus fighters. And that was like a cut-off, and after that, we're still getting lists and lists of fighters. And as you say, everyone's just wanting to fight. And I think there's been a bit of a kind of mindset changes that people used to, everyone used to be, can you get me a fight that I can win, but looks good? And it's like, well, that's the ultimate fight that everybody wants. but they're like unicorns, they don't exist, So now they're just saying, I just want to fight, just get me a fight. If I lose, I lose. I don't care. Records are for DJs. Like, wow, this is like back in the kind of old days of MMA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what were the challenges coming up with this show? Because obviously it must have been hard with all these guidelines.
The challenges are still being tried to be met as we speak now. It is very difficult in kind of making sure that the council are okay with, the police are okay with everything, and more importantly, that the fighters are actually protected from a health point of view. So yeah, it's difficult, and we kind of went to the venue yesterday, and it's not ideal. There's going to be things in there that, as a company, we try to make sure that the first and foremost that we look after the fighters. And we're not able to do some of that stuff this time. So we normally buy fruit for the dressing rooms, we buy water, and we'll give T-shirts away and stuff like that. And we're just being kind of stopped on everything. Oh, you can't do this, you can't. So us as a company, it's not really who we are in terms of looking after the fighters. But what we've got to do is say, you know what, how we're looking after the fighters, we're actually giving them a place to fight. So we've just got to kind of suck it up.
And obviously we're looking forward to this next event, but obviously there's these announcements about potentially loosening of regulation later on in the year. Do you think down the road there might be an event with a crowd?
So asking me, Jacob, like I said, I'm annoyingly positive, so I'm already like August. But to be fair, when I spoke to our regular venue is the Dome in Doncaster. They're very kind of closely linked to local authority and the director of health. And when I spoke to them before Boris kind of eased or gave the roadmap for easing restrictions, they was pretty much writing off 2021. So they're kind of at the opposite end of me. I'm really annoyingly positive, and they're kind of negative, and they're like, oh, they seem to think that there'll be crowds from October, but they was like, oh, there won't be consumer confidence, and I just disagree. I think if Boris came out today and said it's over, there is no more COVID, go back to normal, I think I could do a show next week and sell it out, because people are just desperate to go out. They want to go to live events.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And obviously with this show coming up, even without the crowd, it's going to be dead exciting. Obviously, you've got the legendary Sean Lomas fighting. You have Scott Malone from Scotland. Who are you most looking forward to seeing?
Oh, my word. I've been interviewing fighters as we've gone along, Jacob, and I tell you what, as I interview, I'm like, oh, this is a sick fight. I can't wait for this. I don't know. The main event, obviously, like you've got to kind of look at is Scott Malone.
Mhm.
Always a great fighter. Elliot Hoyer, great fighter. Scott actually stepping down a weight. So what will he perform like at feather? There's so many like interesting little things in there. But like I said, there's so many fights on the card that are ridiculous. You know, as a promoter, when you're excited for the fight, you know you're giving the fans what they want.
Mm-hmm. And one I would like to zoom in on just quickly there is Louis Lee Scott. You've obviously brought him up over from the Thai boxing world, and you've done his pro debut and I think his amateur debut also in MMA. Yeah. Where's the roof for this kid? He seems special.
Absolutely, yeah. From the first time that I saw him, we went up to AVT, the gym he trains out of, and we were doing some fight interviews. I can't remember if he was on the card or whether I'd kind of first seen him there. And he was literally like a sponge. Everything the guys were telling him, he just took it in. He was straight on it. It was like, and I actually said to my team, this kid's special. And that was from like before he even had an MMA fight. And you look at his fights, because of the kind of Thai background that he's got, and now he's been a sponge in terms of MMA, the gym that he's fighting out of, AVT, there's some monsters in there, and he's got like Danny Mitchell as his coach. You know, when you talk about like grappling and stuff like that, he's got everything around him, and he's got like the marketability. So you know, he'll appeal to all the girls, and you know, he's got the kind of look and everything. He's got hair, which you know some of us have grown out of. So he's he's got everything that he needs, really. He always gets a good crowd. He's got a great, really good following. So I just think big things for the lad.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all my questions there. If there's anything else you'd like to add, just go ahead there.
Yeah, so the only thing that I'd add is, you know, obviously we're taking a risk on this. This isn't about, it's literally not about making money. I know that people think promoters, they put a show on and they make millions of pounds, and they you know, they do everybody else over and the fighters get nothing. That isn't the case in our world. You know, I put so much into the shows to create a platform. I love what I do every day, but this is a risk because we've never kind of done this before. We've always sold physical tickets. So what I would say is, anyone who could buy a ticket early, you're helping me out, you're helping me sleep. You know, it is stressful, this stuff, and when it is generally that people buy later on. But that doesn't do my heart rate any good. So listen, the way that the MMA community has come around this, the fighters, the coaches, the managers, the journalists, and the fans has been incredible. The uptake already is really good. I mean, we're obviously not anywhere near where we need to be yet, and that's what I'm saying is if everyone can kind of let's create this. Honestly, there's a real buzz about the MMA community, and I just think this is what we should be. And if we can be like that all the time, then great. So let's hope that it's done us the world of good.
Well, that's fabulous. So thank you for talking to me. I'll just end the recording there.